There comes a point in a rebuild where you have to be honest about the current state of your team. At 2-4, at our bye week, we will not play another game before the trade deadline. The Packers and Bears are already 5-1. The season isn't looking good for us. Following our 3-game losing streak, it's decision time. How are we going to attack the rest of this season? We've had a couple close losses, 2 multi-score losses, and then a nice win against Philadelphia, and then a win over Detroit. Given this start to the season, I think that it is time for us to think about which veterans we might be willing to trade at the trade deadline. Now, in this series, we are going to honor the no trade clause in real life that Kirk Cousins has. Of course, there isn't that feature in Madden, but we will recognize it regardless. But I think there are some other chances for us to maybe make some moves. I think Alexander Mattison we could trade. He's a free agent at the end of the season. I think we could look to also trade Patrick Peterson. And we'll go through anybody else that I feel could be a trade option, but also I'm going to keep in mind, player contracts and, all right, what would other teams really think of a player with this deal? So it's not just going to be some fire sale episode. But I think it's time to think about some moves if we can get something for some of these players. Now, there's still a chance we could bounce back, but I feel like at least those 2 moves don't really change the team a whole lot. Might get us some late day 3 capital for the next draft, and we can kind of go from there. Now, if we are to have the full Vikings experience, and if this is to stay true to real life, this team is going to rally at some point and create some hope once again. It's a Minnesota sports tradition. It's actually uncommon for a team like the Vikings to start a season 2-4 and then just finish 5-12 or 5-11 in past years. By the way, I'm recording this just minutes after the title update dropped today on the PS5 and the Xbox. I would imagine there's a patch for other platforms, but take a look if you're playing on one of those. It was a small update. We'll see how the game plays today. The only thing that they said in the patch notes was that this was for tuning pass block locomotion, for tackles to get deeper against edge pressure, improved end game flow, and tuning and stability fixes. And there have been some bad stability fixes or stability problems in Madden 23 franchise. I've seen people have these weird issues where you go into practice, or like you try to play a game, it throws you into a practice and you end up with some 0-0 tie. So we'll see if it has anything notable for us today. So how are we going to tackle this bye week then? We have 3 options here: XP up, stamina down, awareness up, stamina down, or a team bonding retreat focusing on the morale. I still remember the time I did this in the Giants franchise once, and then we came out of that bye week not playing well. I wonder if this self-scouting would be an interesting one. Or stay grinding. I mean, you do lose some stamina there. We could probably handle it. We'll go stay grinding here. We're 2-4. It's an early season bye week anyway. We lost stamina, unfortunately, but we get the 500 XP, which has some use. Now, speaking of XP, I haven't gotten into any real XP slider testing yet in this game, and I'm still trying to think about, what is the ultimate goal with these XP sliders? For now, I just bumped up offensive line because they typically need it, and then safety a little bit because they need it too. I check out, Operation Sports, and it seems like a lot of people go under default for a lot of these. So I have to do some testing of my own here. I want to do some of that today. But I do think you have to handle this game a little bit differently because of the contract demands. Before, I used XP as a contract slider, basically. The higher rated the player is, the more money they're going to ask for, and the more money teams are spending on players, that eats up their cap space, and it introduces more interesting scenarios in free agency. Well, this game is already pretty interesting when it comes to free agency, and a lot of players won't sign with teams unless it's for a really high salary. So it's not as necessary to inflate overall to get the contracts up. It'll help, but I don't think that it's required. And I don't want a team full of 95 plus overalls. Like the Vikings have nobody above a 94. They have one of the best running backs, one of the best receivers, one of the best safeties in the game. I want a good range within the 90s, but not so much the high 90s where you see a player's ratings all at the cap. It's just kind of boring when you're at that stage. So if this ends up becoming a lost season, and we're on the path to that happening, there are going to be some younger players we want to see a little bit of in what games we do watch the rest of the way. I love to see a little bit of Brian Asamoah here. He has great speed, 80 tackle, and, 65 zone coverage isn't great, but it is a start. So I think that he's an intriguing linebacker to start working with. And then the other thing is, let's trade Patrick Peterson because I want to see Andrew Booth and Cameron Dantzler play. I want to see them play together and develop as young players. And Andrew Booth will know his development pretty soon. 91 speed, 76 man coverage. He should be a quality future starter. Will I play Kellen Mond at all to see if he can be the quarterback of the future? He does have the mobility and the short accuracy is okay. Everything else, though, pretty low. Awareness only a 63. Normal development. Don't really see him being the future starter. Let's go physical here for Justin Jefferson. That's his lowest archetype, and that gets a bunch of upgrades. There are a lot of good suggestions in the comments as well. I don't often like to record multiple videos in a row. Sometimes I do, because it's nice to be ahead of the game. But I like checking comments between videos, because I would have missed this. Somebody suggested in the last video that we don't save the Garrett Bradbury negotiation until the end of the year, because his motivation is partially positive due to Kirk Cousins. And if Cousins were to regress, no longer be the franchise quarterback, signing him could be more difficult and more expensive. That's just the kind of thing you have to keep in mind here when you're handling contracts with players. So if I want to get Bradbury on a short-term deal, I think we start now. And I'm probably not going to be using the team-friendly, neutral, this stuff very often. The neutral I think is fine because this is basically the expected or the fair offer. So I will be doing things a bit on my own, and I want to see if he'll sign a 1-year deal here. And he did. All right, I didn't have to adjust the money there. So just keeping Bradbury around for 1 more year puts a band-aid on that center position. He's not a high-quality starter. He's not going to be. He's already in his late 20s. But let me just hold off on trying to find a starting center for a year and not have to plug that gap when there are a variety of other holes on this roster. I know what I want to focus on in this draft. A lot of defense. Maybe we find a quarterback and maybe a playmaker to start developing. But I'd rather not spend a pick or valuable resources on a starting center when I have other problems on this team. Now, the main players I want to consider trading are going to be players whose contracts are up at the end of the year. If you're thinking about, why not trade Adam Thielen? First of all, that's an emotional decision for a Viking fan to make. You can't put me in that situation right now. Second, it's a multi-year deal. He'll regress a little bit at the end of the year, but it's not a now or never proposition. There's always a chance of trading these veterans on multi-year deals in the future. So when I look at this roster here and think about the veterans we could look to move off of, it still really just ends up being Madison and Peterson. Not so much Dalvin Tomlinson, because I, again, think this could be a Garrett Bradbury situation where I'm interested in just plugging that gap for a year. I think he's played well enough against the run, so let's bring him back for 1 more year if possible. And again, let's try a 1-year deal here. He wants 7.9. And he is very interested. He likes the scheme fit. Kirk Cousins is a positive for him. The other part too is if somebody cares about your career win percentage, if you're in your first year, I mean, you could turn that around in a year's time and have even more interest potentially, but I am not going to be banking on that. I'm going to make fairly low offer here. Just get the ball rolling here. Like $4.5 million, 78 overall. He'll regress, and maybe I can get him cheaper later on. So he's not going to accept that one, unfortunately. Now, I am going to use the trade finder as kind of a guide, but I'm not going to make ridiculous trades that don't make sense and hurt the CPU. Like, I already know with this trade finder, you're going to see situations where you can. And I know Madison, given his age, his star development, and 78 overall, I think I did this in the stream, and like I got offered like Isaiah Simmons. I don't run my series like that. Just because the game lets me doesn't mean I'm going to do it. The game lets you edit players' ratings and jack them up to 99. Like, why not do that if you're just going to exploit the CPU anyway? So, I think realistically for Madison, a 4th round pick, because he has re-sign value, is probably the max. But just throwing that out there in case we do get, you know, an unreasonable offer from some team. These don't seem all that bad here. Chris Harris. Wow, they give up a solid corner for a running back when they have Saquon Barkley. Yeah, there's still a lot of work to do when it comes to the, like CJ Henderson would be fleecing Carolina. Okay, I think it makes some sense for the Giants to have some interest here. Saquon Barkley with a broken femur. Unfortunately, done for the season. A lot of injuries here, taking away valuable years of his career. But this roster makes a lot of sense now to bring in Madison. Could I have gotten more? Maybe. But I think that is a fair trade there for both sides. Giants get a running back that maybe becomes their future starter, depending on what happens with Saquon Barkley. But for sure, he can play for them right now. And now let's talk about Patrick Peterson. 78 overall, veteran corner. Not a ton of re-sign value, but a good guy to bring in for the time being if you just need a starter. And I think that the trade options here are far more reasonable. Like, they're not coming up to 78 overall. Like, some of these trade offers, like, they would be getting the better end. And I wish the CPU offered more trades like this. But I think it's pretty good to see right here that nobody is going to be giving up a ton for a veteran corner in just 10 games from him. We have traded Patrick Peterson to the New England Patriots, where he will immediately be their second best corner. We'll get a 5th round pick in return. I think a 5 there is fair. Maybe they would have given me a 4, but just because there's no real re-sign value, I think a 5 is kind of fair in that instance. So it's a start to getting us some more picks for next year, and maybe we will have a chance to add some more. But right now we're looking at our 1 through 4. Now we replaced the missing 4 with Giants, so 2 5s, a 6, and we're going to want more at some point, I think. So we have a start, and now we have to shake up the depth chart a little bit. So who has the more starting potential in the future, Ty Chandler or Kene Nwangwu? Chandler is a 5th round rookie out of North Carolina, 24 years old. I love that speed acceleration combo, 78 vision, 87 carrying, and, 67 catching. It's not great, but most running backs don't have much more than that. Kene Nwangwu, he's explosive, 94 speed, 95 acceleration. His ball carrier vision's a bit lower, catching at 62. I suppose I'd like to see both of them a little bit. Now, I have done a little testing here, as I'll put Nwangwu in the 2 spot for the time being, but I've done a little testing on the auto subs and trying to get those to work properly, and they really don't. We do have Dantzler and Andrew Booth here. I forgot Dantzler has star devs, so some decent potential with those two. And then at linebacker, it is Kendricks, it is Hicks here in the base, but I think that it makes more sense to play Asamoah over Hicks here when we go sub-linebacker, just because I think he has the long-term upside there. He is faster already, and Hicks doesn't have the best coverage ratings to begin with. They're better than Asamoah's, but still, I think that neither would be a real strength in coverage right now anyway. But it's time now to set our scouting national focus, which I've wanted to be corner this entire time. And, you know, we have two guys who might have a decent future there. It's not necessarily the biggest need, but I think when you have a difference maker there, it does make everything a lot easier. So corner will be what we go with. And now we have the second version of the mock draft available that has quarterbacks going at 1 and 2. And now the part we have to pay attention to is stock. So we have Alex Beckett, Howie Thompson. Wow, I hope they wouldn't take two quarterbacks back-to-back round 1, but increases your chance you find the right guy, right? We have Esteban Herrera up 21 spots right now, top 5 projected running back. Should have good vision, shouldn't fumble much. Not the greatest athlete. He can spin, has a stiff arm. I forgot to edit our board, so it has us taking Keith Boyce here and picking 5th. Now, if we do pick 5th, that does make it easier to potentially get a quarterback. And the one that I like a lot seems to be falling. Mateo Enriquez. We have 95% on him now. I might do the focus player thing on him just to get it 100 to know his talent at the end of the day. So we have a chance if we take Mateo Enriquez to have that franchise quarterback of the future. We see B deep, B medium, C short. With B on the run, B under pressure. Yeah, pretty confident here in this skill set. The only thing that's going to be low is trucking. I think we can handle that. He's currently the 4th ranked quarterback. He did go up 1 spot since the last update. And we'll see where his stock lands. But if it gets in this top 5 range, that's going to be tricky. It just might be fortunate for us, though. If like 3 are above him in the rankings, then he likely slides to us. Mitch Carnahan we have here as a field general, A medium, B short, B deep, good pocket passer. Not very mobile, but solid. With potentially pretty high awareness and throw under pressure. And that throw under pressure, I think, is going to be a really key rating in this game with how much pressure there tends to be. Enriquez already above average in that department. Interesting, Enriquez was already the very top player on my board, but it still mocked us Boyce instead of a quarterback. I get a lot of these teams don't have the need at quarterback, but they have him falling out of the first round entirely right now. I forgot we had some roster spots opened up now, so we can bring Josiah Scott, elevate him to the active roster, not worry about a team signing him off the practice squad anymore. He was our highest rated player on the practice squad and just got to 70 overall, which might have caught some teams' attention. And we'll make a signing here. James Prochet has become available. He's in his 3rd season. Looks like it didn't work out in Baltimore. I will bring him onto the roster for now. He does have pretty good hands, but route running needs some work. And perhaps we're ready to actually talk some games now. So, next 3 games, we have Arizona, Washington, Buffalo. And the game I actually want to watch today is going to be Buffalo, regardless of what happens in these first 2 games, because I want that game to be a measuring stick between us and the top of the league. And what do you know, we bounce back against Arizona this time. 450 yards of offense from us. Looks like a pretty quality win here. Kyler Murray, 3 touchdowns to 1 interception. Not a lot of pass attempts here from Arizona. And then rushing, solid day for Cook, great day for the run defense. And if this continues, it's more likely I'd try to keep Harrison Phillips, Dalvin Tomlinson together. Jefferson has a very nice day. No scores. DeAndre Hopkins and Hollywood Brown scored. And Adam Thielen found the end zone as well. So we'll see if there were any other changes in this update. Like, there are always like stealth changes and stuff like that in patches across a variety of games. I'm curious how sim stats look. At least that game looked great. 42 points from Jacksonville, 49 points from Carolina, 45 points from Dallas. Yeah, I'm guessing sim stats probably haven't been adjusted. We'll do some upgrading for the first round pick. It's Lewis Seen +3 zone coverage. Very nice. And I've seen some good moments from him this season. We upgrade Irv Smith to a 75 overall as well. Tight ends always get a bunch of ratings affected there. And I forget about his contract situation. Did we already sign him? No, we still have to do that. So now it's Kirk Cousins taking on Washington, where his career began, with the Vikings trying to get back to 500. Is Minnesota able to get it done? And here we go again. A close win for the Vikings to improve their record to 4-4. 3 touchdowns from Kirk Cousins against 3 from Carson Wentz. Nice day for Kirk. Antonio Gibson here goes for 100 yards. And then we were pretty split carries-wise. Dalvin for 50 yards. Wong Wu for just the 21. If you're wondering how lower rated running backs perform here in Sim, it still seems to be pretty poorly. And then Jahan Dotson had a nice day. What led Olabisi Johnson to have a 781-1 stat line? You do got to worry about Jefferson's health given that. 3 sacks for Danielle Hunter. Okay. So suddenly, playing pretty complete team football these last 2 weeks. Taking a look at the sim stats from this week as well. Las Vegas got to the 40s. So in those 2 weeks, we had 5 teams reach 40 points in a 2-week period. And that's the same as the previous 2-week period. Here in week 6, nobody reached 40, but in week 7, 5 teams did. So if they mess with sim stats, it's inconclusive at this point. Too early to say. Actually, this is an inefficient way to even check. Let me do one thing. I just started a brand new franchise file to sim a season to just check on stats to see if they fixed anything. Well, we got a bunch of 5,000 yard passers still. 2 guys getting to 52 touchdowns. 2,000 yards there. 1873 there for Cup. Doesn't seem like much changed. But let's look ahead now. Minnesota at Buffalo. We've gotten back to 500. The hope is building once again for the Vikings, especially if they're able to contend with a team like the Buffalo Bills. Facing Stephon Diggs again for the first time against Minnesota, going up against the number 3 scoring offense in the game. We have a breakout opportunity for Danielle Hunter coming off of his 3-sack performance, so he just has to do it again. We're up against the Bills this week, and they've been playing great football lately. Let's not insult them. Let's be confident this time. We just got to 500. Bills are playing well, and all players will have +10 break tackle, play rec, and tackle for this game. The vote of confidence has your team fired up, so we get all the same boosts. Kind of weird to just boost everybody in the game. I don't know. These scenarios I still think are kind of goofy. Defend deep pass. Do I have to explain why? And let's throw it short. And we are not going to have either Cam Dantzler or Chandon Sullivan for this game. We're down 2 corners. Hey, good thing we traded away Patrick Peterson earlier. So we are going to be playing Andrew Booth on one side, Josiah Scott, who was lifted from the practice squad. This is actually a really good chance for us to take a look at rookie Caleb Evans too. So his coverage ratings and awareness is actually better than Scott. Let's see the rookie there on the outside. He's 6'2". He has that size. And let's play Scott inside this game then. See how that goes. We'll upgrade Christian Darris quick. I think his pass protection is way underrated here in Madden, so it creates some extra work for us to do, but the future seems bright. So we go from trading players at the deadline, we're 2-4, thinking the season could be lost, to suddenly the Vikings' resurgence. I knew this was probably going to happen. It's just never simple with this team. If we win this game, we're 5-4, and who knows what's to come. Josh Allen, he's going to throw off balance, and the pass is caught, but looks like no gain there for Buffalo. Don't think I've seen AI control Josh Allen in this game, so should be fun. Allen dishes it out. Pass caught, 4-yard gain. And now we're showing blitz. Looking for an opening drive stop. Allen, 4 on the rush, has time to throw, swings it out and gets picked off. The other way, it's Harry the Hitman. He scores a touchdown. Harrison Smith with the pick 6, and the Vikings strike first. Throwing late to the flats. Come on now. From the empty look now, that was contested. They get it to Dawson Knox. It's drive number 2 underway for Buffalo. 4-man rush, and it's out quickly once again, this time for a first down to Isaiah McKenzie. Really want to see what they do with Diggs in this game, going up against a lot of replacement level corners. Allen flushed over the middle. This one's picked off as well. And it's Lewis Seen. Josh Allen has 2 ugly interceptions to start this game. Let's hope Kirk Cousins doesn't play like that. When I installed the update, I thought about getting into a game and then quitting out just to, like, I don't know, reset the game in a way. Like, Madden's weird. But I didn't do that. So a couple interceptions. Now Kirk in response, he completes. And it's Justin Jefferson. Fake to Dalvin on 2nd down, and the pass caught. First down to B.C. Johnson. So good to know that Jefferson isn't like hurt or anything, but I guess BC's playing more suddenly. And that appeared to be because Madden was messing with my depth chart again. They always do this. They moved BC above KJ, made him the starting slot receiver. So Jefferson is back in the slot where he is supposed to be. And we are driving. At the 28-yard line, Cousins. This play is not on time, but he gets it to Thielen. How about a run? Yeah, we still got those in the playbook. It's Dalvin Cook with a powerful run of 5 yards. And from the split backfield, wide open, it's Thielen inside the 10. And the Vikings are close to making this a 14-0 game. We bring CJ Ham into the equation. It's Dalvin Cook for a couple yards. And it's the same look on 3rd down. I'd like to have a couple receivers out there. Toss to Cook. Never had a chance. Losing 4. But we will take a 10-0 start to the game at Buffalo any day of the week. So is Josh Allen going to start protecting the football, handling things a bit differently, or what's going to be the situation here? Allen feels the rush, gets it outside, and Singletary is only able to get 1. But we're getting a lot of pressure already. Allen is not responding to it well either. Singletary with nowhere to go off the right side. This offense isn't looking good whatsoever. 3rd and 8. Allen caught. And it's Dawson Knox. Diggs is bottom of your screen there, the X-Factor receiver. As they run this inside and into a brick wall. That was Eric Kendricks. On 2nd down, it's floated and caught. McKenzie breaks open and is taken out of bounds by Lewis Seen. But the Bills now responding. Good start to the drive. New set of downs. Allen from the pocket delivers to Stephon Diggs at the 15-yard line. And Roger Saffold appears to be shaken up on the play. He will exit the game as the Bills enter the red zone for the first time. Desperate to answer back after the interceptions. Nice hit by Harrison Smith. 3rd and 5. They can get a first down at the 4. Allen to the air, flushed, drifting outside. He will throw this one into the seats. So that was a better drive at least, but the defense looks pretty tough right now. Bills tack on a field goal. All right, no short field this time. Let's see what Kirk Cousins and company can do. Against the pressure, that pass is caught. It's Jefferson. And he's wrestled down at the 48-yard line. Now we go empty on first down. Cousins airs it out. Caught by Osborne inside the 15. How about Kirk Cousins right now dealing? This is what could actually elevate this team in 2022. We go to a bunch and run it with Dalvin. He gets downhill for a solid gain. Final play of the first quarter, most likely. Jefferson from the backfield to begin. Pass caught by Thielen. Just outside the end zone. Jefferson slot left. He has a linebacker over the top of him on first down. They go to Dalvin, and he's in for the touchdown. And the Vikings are looking awesome in this episode. Now imagine if we didn't screw up the whole London game. We'd be great right now. But hey, this game is far from over. We are one quarter in. Bills take over again. We'll do some simming now in the second quarter. And it's 3rd and 4. Knocked away a Caleb Evans rookie, I believe out of Missouri. And we will take over. Dalvin Cook gets us started. We have Irv Smith to midfield. 3rd and 10 though for Kirk, and he finds Jefferson once again. We'll get Thielen 7 yards, and then an interception by Kyer Elam. The Bills get a much-needed momentum swing for the defense, but then we take it back. It's Andrew Booth Jr. We have plays on the last 2 drives from Booth and to Caleb Evans. It's been a 3-interception day now for Josh Allen. And we'll take over with the short field. Cousins to the air. Okay, I thought somebody might be over there. Cousins on 3rd down. Caught again. Jefferson inside the 5. Doesn't appear the Bills are handling JJ very well. It's goal to go Minnesota. I already think I have to get into the red zone game planning here because we're just going to the jumbo way too much. Don't be afraid to keep a receiver on the field. It's Dalvin Cook getting stacked up again. So we go to 3rd and goal, and this time we do head to the air. Cousins over the middle for Thielen. Touchdown. I noticed on that play, Ty Chandler had actually checked into the backfield, so nice to see him get a snap. A little experience there. So just as we expected, we begin the episode 2 and 4, trade away a couple players, and then start to rattle off a bunch of wins, playing our best football of the season. Now, I'm still not content with this game the way it is. You know, the Bills can still mount a comeback, and we have a lot of time left to go in this ball game. But right now, we look like a team that can actually compete. As Jordan Hicks picks up a sack. Oh, they have a short field here? What happened? They still had to settle for a field goal. Oh, an interception by Jordan Poyer is what it's saying there. So we have a lot of turnovers in this game. 5. A lot of them simulated, but they're still happening. Minnesota adds on 3 more before half, making it once again a 21-point game as we go into the second half now. And the Bills trying to get that football back. They've sacked Kirk a few times, but they have to get the offense going. Diggs has been very quiet in this game. He is top of your screen. On first down, it's swung out. And that's a solid pickup on the play. Allen in trouble again, making it worse and throwing incomplete. I thought he'd be responding to the pressure a little bit better than this. A blitz on the way. Allen dumps this off. And the tackling has been mostly good. We're not giving up a lot of extra yardage. 3rd down now. Do they go Singletary's way again? No, they will throw, and Allen is picked off once again. This time it's picked off by Josh Metellus. Touchdown. What is up with Josh Allen in this game? I've never seen a more paranoid quarterback in this game. And the thing is, we're not seeing anything like that from Kirk. I don't know what it is. We move forward, and the Bills have driven down the field again. Allen, off balance, off the mark. 4 interceptions on the day. We're getting so much pressure, and they're not getting the ball out quick. This is like really good defense as well. But Allen isn't helping his own cause whatsoever. As Harrison Phillips, the former Bill, is shaken up on that play. Hopefully he's all right. But Buffalo has yet to find the end zone. Oh, wow, that is not going to be good news from Harrison Phillips. An abdominal tear. And we don't have a lot of depth there. So he's going to miss at least a handful of games. We're getting Ty Chandler some fourth quarter carries here, up by 25 points. It's Chandler to the outside, spun around, a gain of 3. Kirk on third down, converts it, finding Irv Smith Jr. Down below, Detroit beating Chicago. That would also be good for us, as Chandler gets downhill, not trying to take this stretch off tackle. And it's third down. We have Jefferson in the backfield once again. I like this formation a lot. 3rd and 6. Jefferson hauls it in and gets the first down. What a statement maker here. And I realize, Allen did not play how he's supposed to in this game at all. It could just have been a weird, fluky game. But, the same thing could have happened to us, and it didn't. We are dominating the Buffalo Bills. Chandler to the right side. Not much. And now it's 3rd and 6. Cousins gets it away. Caught again. Irv Smith turns up, and we get the first down. Kirk's played really well. Chandler to the right side. There's a good run, taking us inside the 10. By the way, Chandler's in there because Wongwu is apparently hurt right now. So there are injuries all over the place this week and this game. We had 2 in practice. Both teams have had a bunch throughout this game, so a lot to go through once we're done. Cousins lost the ball. It's still loose, but recovered by Ty Chandler. That could have been really bad. Greg Joseph missed a field goal. Second team defense is now in, and we'll see if anything changes here. Allen across the middle, and that should be a first down. I don't think the starting edge rushers will be on the field. I hope not anyway. But Bills at midfield, and Allen completes it short to Diggs, who did not have the big revenge game he was looking for. Allen on first down, across the middle for Singletary, inside the 10. Suddenly now the ball is coming out quick, right over the middle like every time. 30 seconds to go, Bills want a touchdown. Allen extends, he will take it inside the 10, but will not score. Buffalo 5 yards out on second down as Allen fires and is intercepted again. He wanted Diggs. It gets picked off by a Caleb Evans, and we're out of here with a huge victory. There's a signature play for the rookie corner. What a win. A very strange game there. The Bills' offense was just a mess. 5 picks for Josh Allen, no touchdowns. And the Vikings score a 34-9 victory, their 3rd consecutive win. And who knows what the rest of this season could hold now. It's a nice reset for the year. as we close the gap on the top of the division. Hopefully we don't see more games like that. That was a very strange one. Don't like seeing games like that. Dalvin Cook, 48 yards. Singletary, 54. Jefferson over 100. McKenzie at 100. And Diggs, 2 for 24. We only had 1 sack, but we had a ton of pressure, and that led to these turnovers. And very fitting, we get to upgrade the rookie Caleb Evans after what appeared to be a very good starting debut for him. The whole defense played exceptional. 23 years old, out of Missouri, and a pretty good athlete. Especially, at 6'2" for corner, 90 speed, 93 acceleration. Minnesota really emphasizing athletes with their most recent class, including players like Ty Chandler and Brian Asamoah, Lewis Seen. They want really athletic players. So Daniil didn't get his elite upgrade here to X Factor, but I never expect that one to actually work out. But now, as a result of beating the previously hot Buffalo Bills, they cool off significantly. Kirk breaks out the red undershirt again, and we get the stolen momentum for our next game and a big XP boost. That's nice to have going into the Dallas game. Let's take a look at our injuries, though, coming out of the Week 10 victory. And -1 from every player here. So Dantzler and Sullivan will be back, but Kene Wongwu is going to miss some time. And now Harrison Phillips. That is a big loss for us defensively. Buffalo, meanwhile, they were already missing Gabe Davis, I believe. Didn't see him, or Von Miller, but they did lose Kyer Elam to a 6-week knee injury. And taking a look around the league here, what else is going on injury-wise? I like the overall variety I've seen. I think at this point it's still just how many injuries are there kind of thing. Like, there's a lot of good variety here. We're attempting to flip this season on its head. We are 5-4 with the Bears and Packers at 7-3, with head-to-heads against all division opponents still left on the schedule. We take on Dallas in the next game, trying to make it 4 in a row. This would be a huge win for us. And that'll be coming your way next episode. We played the Cowboys in like half of the Giants franchise episodes. I think we're playing Dallas again in the next one. And see how long this winning streak can go. I wasn't expecting anything like this. Last thing here, I just wanted to check out the scouting board again. So Bernard Connor, #1 player. Quarterbacks look like they're staying the same there. Carnahan up a slot. You just wonder, do we end up playing ourselves out of a chance to draft Mateo Enriquez if he's still our guy? Hard to say at this stage, but he still seems like he won't be like a top 10 pick. But he's 11 on the available board. All depends on needs here. Anyway, that is going to do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed this video in the Vikings franchise, one that I did not really expect to play out this way, but I'm sure it won't be our last surprise of even this season. Please drop a like if you're enjoying the series, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a great day.